What is going on, guys? It is Ginger Ale, and I'm here with a different type of video. But in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a good player model for your game. And I'm going to teach you one that kind of looks like this. This is the player model that I am using for my fan game, which I am actually going to make some devlogs and videos on that. But instead of making just an exact copy of this, I'm going to show you how to make something like this, because some of the other tutorials are pretty, basic, and they don't have, this type of stuff. It's mainly just subdivided cubes and stuff like that, and the hands don't really look good in their tutorials. But in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you guys how to make really nice looking hands. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so first you're going to want to open a new Blender project, and if you're new to Blender, then that's fine. I'm going to teach you how to use it. Basically, this screen should pop up. What you're going to do, you're just going to click out of that, and then you're going to click A on your keyboard, and then you are going to press X or right click and click delete. So that will delete everything in your scene. Now, Blender should look a little bit different than mine. I just have a little texture pack that makes everything look blue and kind of like a night sky. And really quick, I am using Blender 4.2. You can use something different, but I'm just going to let you guys know that's what I'm using for this video. Anyway, to move around, you're going to hold down your mouse wheel, and that's how you pan like this. And then if you hold shift on your keyboard and do the same thing, it'll pan on a flat axis. Alright, so to start off, what you're going to do, you're going to press shift A, or go to the add menu right here, and you're going to add a mesh and a cube. Now with the cube, what you can do is either press Control 1, 2, or 3 on your keyboard, or go over here to the modifier tab, the little wrench, click add modifier, click generate, and then subdivision surface, and then you can increase the level viewport. But what I'm going to do for this video, I'm just going to press Control 2, which gives it this nice low poly kind of feel to it. So once you have imported your or added your little cube, what you're going to do, you're going to go over to here where the modifiers are, click this little drop down menu, and click apply. That will apply the entire modifier to it, so that way we don't have any boxes or flat surfaces on it. So now what we're going to do is we are going to hide that for now, but we're going to do the same thing again. So either click shift A or click the add menu, and we're going to add another one, and then Control 2, which is what I'm going to do. Click Control 2 or add a subdivision surface and do 2 level viewport. Again, you can do anything you want. I'm just going to do 2. But instead of applying it right away like we did with the other cube, you're going to click Tab on your keyboard, or go up here where it says Object Mode and go to Edit Mode. Basically what you're going to do, you're going to click this little face thing, or click 3 on your keyboard, and then you're going to grab this little top face, and we're going to make a pill-shaped body. So to do that, all we got to do is click E to extrude it, and then drag it up. Once you finish this, or get something like this, you can click Tab, or click the little edit mode and go back into object mode, and then you can use the arrow tool to drag it down, or what I like doing, I press G and then Z on my keyboard to move it along the Z axis and place it where I want. Now again, you can obviously scale it to how large you want it to be, or if you want it to be wider or lengthier. But I'm gonna decrease the size a little bit on this, and then drag it down. And now we're gonna apply the subdivision modifier. So now you're gonna wanna go up here into your scene collection little area thing, and then you're gonna unhide the cube or circle thing, and you're gonna just drag it up, so that way you have the head right here and the body. So you can select both of these now and drag them down. Again, I'm just going to use G and Z. But now we have a little head and we have a little body. Again, you can always adjust anything to your liking. I like this so far. I'm just going to scale that up a little bit. And what I'm using to scale is you can either use the scale tool and drag from this little middle axis. Drag from this little middle part. Or you can just press S on your keyboard to scale it. Alright, so now it's time to make the actual arms. Now, we're going to make the arms just about the same way that we made the body. So I like arms to be kind of like again, a pill shaped, it just makes it feel a little bit better than just the flat, subdivided, stretched out surface. So what we're gonna do, we're going to Shift A or the add menu again, and then you're gonna add another cube, Control 2, or add the subdivision surface modifier manually in the modifier tab. And then you're gonna move this, so click G and Y on your keyboard, or just move it along this axis with your arrows. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna click Tab, or go up here, Edit Mode. And again, make sure that you're on the face selection. Grab this face, okay? This face on the right side of it. Now what you can do, you can press the little X value up here in the corner of your screen, or click the number 3 on your number pad to get into that view. So what we're gonna do, we are going to extrude it out like this, and then if we click tab again, we should have something like this. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to apply that and shrink that down. And again, I'm just using S on my keyboard, but again, you can use anything else. Now, one quick thing that I'm going to do is you should see a little orange dot, or for me, a blue dot right here. This is the origin of the object. So what I'm just gonna do is select this, click Object, Set Transform, and then Orange to Geometry. That puts it in the middle, so it makes it a little bit easier. But anyway, all you're gonna do is move this to right here. So you can use the Move tool right here like that, or you can use what I'm using, click G, Z to drag it up, and then G, Y to move it right here. I'm just gonna move that about there. All right, so your arm can't obviously be this nubby, so I'm gonna press S on my keyboard and then Y. I'm gonna stretch that out a little bit and then move it, and boom, we have a little arm. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit. There we go, that looks better. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna press Shift D. Now listen, do not move your mouse, okay? So press Shift D and then click. That will duplicate the object. Now, here's where the little shortcut comes in handy. What you're gonna do, you're gonna press G and then Z on your keyboard, and you're gonna move it to where you want the other part of the arm to be, just like this. Now, you can do what I'm doing, which I'm just going to scale this down a teeny tiny bit, just like that, or you can just keep it the same. But I'm going to scale mine down a teeny tiny bit. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to the other side. So what I'm going to do is, this is a little bit more complex if you're new to Blender, but you're going to select both of these by holding Shift and then press Control J on your keyboard, and that should group these two together. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the modifier tab and add a mirror modifier. Now, so you should see your little axis or your plane stuff. So the y-axis is green, so this is the y-axis. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the axis to y, and then for mirror object, I'm going to click this little eyedropper tool, and then click on the body. That will perfectly mirror to the other side, just like that. And now what we're going to do, we're going to apply the modifier. And now here's a little tricky part. So what I'm going to do, and what you should do, is press Tab, and then you can either hold Z and then switch to wireframe, or you can come up here to the top right corner of your screen and click this little wireframe tool right next to there. So now what we're going to do, you're going to press 3 on your number pad, or press this little X button to where you're in the front view of your model. But now what we're going to do, we're going to select on each one, go to Object, Set Transform, Origin to Geometry. And then we're going to do that for all of them. Boom. Boom. So now all of the origins are perfectly in the middle, so that way whenever we move them around or scale them, if you ever want to, then they're going to be normal. So now we're going to move on to the actual hands of the model. Now the hands are a little bit more tricky part, but I still like doing them, and they're pretty fun because you can always make them different. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to hide everything except the body. So you're going to come over here and hide all of the stuff except for the main body piece. So what I'm going to do here, ignore that, I just set the origin to normal. I'm going to add a basic cube, just like this, and then go into your Z axis by pressing either 7 on your number pad or pressing this little button. So the top of it should be facing the Y axis, going up that way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this And then I'm going to move it over here. So I'm just going to click G and then X, move it over there. So now what we're going to do, click on the cube, make sure that the cube is selected, and you're going to add another mirror modifier, and then you're going to make sure that the axis is on X, and then select the body. That should make it to where your cube is mirrored, so that way you have a same exact replica of the hand. So now we can go ahead and hide the cube. Alright, so now let's get to work on actually modeling the cube. So I'm going to move it a little bit further out, and try to make it to where it lines up with these little grid lines. It'll just make it a lot easier. Alright, so now let's actually start modeling. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to press Tab, and then you're going to select the two faces on the side of the cube, just like that. So I have this face is selected and this face selected. Now you're going to right click and then click Extrude Faces along normals. Now you're going to hold Control and then extrude them 1 and 2, just like that. Now what you're going to do, select these three faces, and then I'm going to go for a more flat type, like big scary type of hand. But if you guys want me to make a different video on how to make like gorilla tag style hands, I can perfectly do that. So what we're going to do, we are going to press E and hold Control, and then we're going to extrude one box out. So one box out will go to there. So it's basically two of these little cubes. That's one box. And then we're going to do that again. So now we have a perfect, like 3x3 grid. And now we can actually start working on the fingers. So what you're going to do is select these two faces on the side, and then you're going to extrude them out 3 times. So hold Control, that's 1, that's 2, and then that's 3. So it should be 1 box, 2 box, 3 box. And now we're going to do the thumb. So since we mirrored it on the right side, this is going to be the right hand and this is going to be the left hand. So we're going to come to this side and we're going to go back into our Z view and then extrude that along there. So I'm going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do like 4. Let's do 5. I'm going to do 5 out. So it is going to look a little bit weird, but when we subdivide this, it's going to look normal. So you can go out of edit mode and give it a subdivision modifier, but that's going to look weird. So instead, what we're going to do is we're still going to add it, but go back into edit mode, and you're going to want to select these faces inside of like the little gap in between the fingers. And then what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to scale them by the x-axis inward, about like that. So that now what that will do is when we go ahead and add that modifier, I'm going to do Control 1 or add a viewport 1 subdivision surface, so it should look like that. Now the fingers are going to look a little bit flat and chunky, and we're going to fix that. So go back into edit mode, don't apply the subdivision modifier yet. And you're going to select all of the faces on this side, go back into the Z view, and then you're going to click G, X, and then move it in however much you want. I'm going to move it in half a block. So I'm going to get like half a block right there. And you can always just copy this. So mine was negative 0.5. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these faces right here. And then I'm just going to move them in half a box. And then I'm just going to put 0.5. So now these are perfectly even. And now this looks kind of like a big scary hand, but the thumb looks a little bit wonky. So the reason why I made it extra long is that that way we can like readjust it. So I'm just going to move that in a little bit. And boom, we have a hand. Now, of course, you can always take your thumb and move it forward like that. That looks pretty good, so I'm going to keep mine like that. Again, if you do this, then it will be like a little bit harder, and by a little bit, I mean like the tiniest bit. It'll be a little bit more difficult rigging it just because you have to actually move the bones to adjust to the thumb position. But now that we're done with the hands, what we're going to do is go Tab, and then you're going to apply the subdivision modifier. Go into object mode first and then apply it, and we're also going to apply the mirror modifier. So click Tab or just go into edit mode, and then you're gonna go back into wireframe view by going up here or holding Z on your keyboard and selecting this. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna box select one of the faces, one of the hands, click P, and then separate by loose parts. So now whenever we go out of object mode, we should have 2 separate hands. Before we put them on the body, click on one of them, object, set origin to geometry, and then it's the same thing with the other one. So now what we're gonna do is unhide everything. Boom. So you should have all of this stuff. Look at that. Boom. So now we're gonna select both of the hands, and now you can get out of the Z view. Basically, after both of these are selected, you're going to rotate them, scale them down first, and then you are going to rotate them. Here, this is the front of my model. You're going to rotate them by the y-axis, and then you're just gonna drag that, and then set that to -90 degrees. Boom. So now you should have something like this. So I'm gonna start off with the left hand, go into your X view or press 3 on your number pad, and then you're going to basically position it where you want your hand to be. You can always scale it down, put it to your liking, and boom, you have your hand. So now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna take this one, drag it down to about this, like the same height, and then I'm gonna rotate that on the X-axis 90 degrees. 180 degrees. Make sure that the fingers are lined up, just like so. And now what we can do is we can move the second hand onto here. So this doesn't have to be perfect, but try to match the hand position as much as possible. So this has a little sliver. It's a little bit of a sliver, like indented into the forearm. So I'm gonna do that. Boom, and then boom, we have the hands done. So that's basically it. So now what we're gonna do, we're going to rig the entire thing and then add textures. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna group all of this stuff together. So select everything and make sure that the body is selected as the main part. For me, it's gonna appear blue, but for you, it should appear a different color. But make sure that the body is the main part. And now you're gonna click Ctrl J, and that should group everything together as one whole. Alright, so now let's actually rig this thing. Alright, to start off by rigging it, you're going to go into the X view. Now the X view is like you're going to need it to actually rig things. So what we're going to do, we're going to Shift A or add menu, and then we're going to add a armature. So you shouldn't be able to see it right now, but if you go to this little stick man, and then go to viewport display, and then click checkmark, and then you're going to want to check the box that says in front. Now you'll be able to see it. Alright, what we're going to do is you're going to want to move this down about here and then scale that up to the size of your body. So you should want this part basically touching the butt and then have this part touching the start of the head. So I'm going to scale that up a little bit more, and boom, we have that. So now make sure that the armature is selected and click tab to go into edit mode. Now this is going to require a lot of extruding. So what we're going to do, we're going to press E to extrude and then click Z so that way it's all constantly up. And I'm going to hold Control to give it grid snapping, but you're just going to want to extrude that to the top of the head. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is you're going to kind of want to mirror this stuff. So select the bottom joint, hold Control whenever you start extruding it, and you're going to extrude it to right here to where basically the bicep of the model connects to the body, so like right about there. And we're gonna do that for that side too. Boom, here, let me move it back a little bit. There we go, it's perfect. Now we're gonna select this and extrude it to the crease of the arm. Do that for this side as well. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna extrude that lastly to the palm of the, or the rest of the hand. Alright, so now we're going to do that to the other side. So extrude that to the wrist of the other hand. Alright, so now it's time for the more detailed stuff. And if the stuff isn't precise, your finger animations, if you make them in your game, they might look a little bit wonky. But again, I like my things perfect. I like doing things perfectly. but to you that may be completely different. So what you're gonna do, zoom in just maybe like a little bit or like a lot to your hands, that way you can see the full thing. And you're going to extrude it, and make sure to hold control. That's very important. Hold control and then extrude that out to basically where the palm of the hand is. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna move that down a little bit to where it's in the middle of this crease. So what I like to do is I like to make like quote unquote starting joints to where I can like easily find them in my hierarchy. So I'm gonna put one here, and then we're gonna put one here. All right, let me make that negative 0.18, and then let me extrude that again. So basically, like right there, in the middle of the hand. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna select this part and then extrude it to where you want the base of the thumb to start, just like that. So now what you're gonna do, select these two parts. Now these two don't look like, there you go. So I'm gonna select these two things, and then I'm going to extrude them. So extrude, hold control, and then I like to click a Y, just that way I don't like move them up or down. I'm gonna extrude 1, 2, and then lastly 3. Now this doesn't look like good to me, but I'm gonna redo that. Take this stuff, make them a little bit larger. 1, y-axis, 2, and then 3. Boom. Now you have your finger bones, and then you're gonna do 2 joints for this one. 1 and 2. Boom. Just like that. And now we're gonna do that for the other hand. So we're going to extrude this to the palm of the hand, and then we're going to add one like quote unquote starting joint. We're gonna add a second one right there. Alright, and then we're gonna make one for the thumb, about right there. Alright, so again, we're gonna select these two, and then extrude them 1, 2, and then 3, just like that. And then for this side, we're gonna do 1 and 2. Boom, let me move that a little bit. Boom! So now we're almost done. Now we just have one more step to do, and then we just gotta add the materials. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, or this is what you should do, unless you're using animation rigging in your fan game, I highly recommend that you do this. So basically what you're gonna do, you're going to select the 2 like elbow joints, go to the Z axis, and then you're gonna extrude them forward 1 or 2 times. I'm just gonna do 2. Now grab your wrist bones and extrude them twice outward. 1, 2. And then what you're gonna do, you're gonna select on the base of the bone and then press Alt P to clear the parent for all of these. They're like the ones that are sticking out. Boom. So now that you've done that, you're gonna take these 2, move them forward once, and then these 2, move them back once. These basically help it to where your arms don't bend backwards whenever you're playing your game. And now, all we gotta do is you're gonna click on this, and then click on your armature, press Control P, and then turn on or click with automatic weights. Now that should make it to where whenever you select your bones and you go to pose mode, if I select on this, boom, the arm moves. And if I select on this one, the head moves. Ooh, 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 what about this one? Boom, forearm moves. Ooh, ooh, this one. Ooh, the finger moves. I can also do it this way too. Boom. So now you have your rigged model. That's fun. Anyway, we're gonna go back into object mode, and then we're just gonna hide the armature for now. You don't want to delete it, but you want to hide it. So now what we're gonna do, you're gonna go up here to the little beach ball looking icon, and you want to press the one that says viewport shading, or hold Z, and then go to material preview. This should make you able to see all of the materials now. So you're gonna go down to this beach ball icon, materials. And then, so basically you can set up your own materials and stuff, which I already have my own, and I'm gonna use the materials that I used for my player model in my game. But what you're gonna do, click on your model, make sure that you're in the materials section, click tab, click A, and then click new, and then go over here to where it says base color, click this little dot, and you're gonna want to click image texture. So change where it says linear to closest, and then find your texture by clicking open. Alright, so I just got my fur texture in here. So as you see, it looks very, very wonky, and we're gonna fix that. So go back into edit mode, and then go up here to where it says UV editing. Now, over here, you should see your projects. So we're gonna hold Z, and then go to material preview. So now you can actually see it a little bit. So go over to here, click A to select everything, and then you're gonna right click, and then click unwrap. So once you unwrap it, it should look a little bit nicer, but what we're gonna do is the hands, they look completely messed up. So we're gonna fix that. So to fix that, you're gonna go up here to where it says UV, and then you're gonna go to where it says unwrap, and then smart UV project, unwrap. Now that makes everything its own little face. So as you can see, the hands look perfectly fine now. And if you want your model or your texture to look more pixelated, you can scale it down. But if you want it to be higher quality, you can scale it up. I'm gonna scale mine up a little bit. And boom, you have your fur texture. Now you want your belly texture. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select everything that I want to be the belly, which is gonna be a very large belly. So I'm gonna have that to be the belly. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna click the plus icon, and then click assign, so that'll put the materials only on this and on nothing else, and then click new right here. Now you're gonna click on the image thing, click image texture, and then you're gonna click on linear and choose that to closest, and then find your belly texture. So I just got mine, and yours may look a little bit wonky, but mine is fine. Again, if you want to fix it, you're gonna make sure that only your belly material is selected, go back into UV editing, and then right click unwrap, UV, unwrap, smart UV project, unwrap. So now it should look like that, and then I can scale it up, scale it down. I'm gonna have mine like that. Boom, now you have your belly texture. And then lastly, you have your face texture. Now, if you don't know how to make a face texture, comment down below. I can teach you guys how to make one. Basically, how I made mine, I just took my belly texture and made it the face texture, and then I drew around it. But I'm gonna add that, and if you already have one, perfect. So you're gonna go back into edit mode, select all the faces that you want to be the face. I'm gonna have mine as these. Click the plus, assign, new. Go do another image texture, linear to closest, and then find your texture. So here's mine. I just imported mine. Now it should look very wonky. What we're gonna do, UV editing again, right click, unwrap, UV, unwrap, smart UV project, unwrap. So boom, it should look like this. Now, if I were you, I would keep this up just that way you could see like where the actual face is placed. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rotate mine to where it is face up, just like that. And then I'm gonna scale mine down, and then I'm gonna move mine like so. Put that kind of there. And then that looks a little bit off, so I'm gonna move that like that. And boom, you have your face texture. Mine looks a little bit goofy, but that's fine. It's just because I use it on different models, and this one isn't like the same thing as my other one. But boom, you just created a really good player model. And as you can see, if I go back into pose mode, the materials still stay with the head and everything else in the body. And then if you want to add it to your project, all you gotta do is click File, Export, FBX, and then name it whatever you want. And then to save it, you can click Control S or File, Save, and then save it as whatever you want. And boom, you're done. You just created a player model. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, helps out a ton. If you want more videos like this, comment.